Now, today we're going to have Kirstie Pomaranski talk to us, give a presentation on one of the many modalities she uses on drumming. But we're first going to bring us all together with a poem and introduction by Dr. Lynn Wagner. Now, I don't know if all of you know Dr. Lynn Wagner, but she's presented for us before several times. And that's how I know her. And although I'm just going to go with a more brief introduction because I think that's what Dr. Lynn wanted. But although she's this nursing educator with accolade and recognitions, just multiple recognitions and accolades about her teaching ability for nurses, I know her as a poet. I know her as someone that when she reads her poetry, it touches my heart. She's an author. She has authored a book on grieving. She showed us her photography, how she used that to express what was in her heart and made us feel what's in her heart and be able to identify with it. And I think what's really special about Dr. Lynn is that she is so passionate about teaching you about her gift. She's so interested and more than happy to share her light. And she almost makes you believe, in fact, she does make you believe that maybe you could do that too, that you could learn to express yourself like that through poetry, through writing, through journaling, through photography. She's been a gift to us on this Caritas Healing Connections meeting. And Dr. Lynn, just share some more of your light. I'm more than happy to have you introduce this meeting and get us off to a brilliant start. Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Carol. Wow. I'm glad I'm able to share and that people can continue with the work. Aesthetic knowing is a huge piece of caring science, and we forget that. We don't teach our students that. We don't honor our own artistic self in our nursing and in our personal life, and we all are artists in some way. And I'm so looking forward to Kirstie's presentation on drumming. I've done very little, but I know that when I have done it, it is quite a healing modality for me. So I would like to open the morning session with a poem. I think someone's mic is open. Okay. I'm getting a lot of feedback, but I'd like to open the session with a poem to center us. The little bit I know about drumming, we need to really come into this space to get the most from the message that Kirstie is going to, treat us with and teach us. So I came up with a poem. It's not one of mine, but it's one of my favorite poets called Jan Richardson. And it's a blessing. And the name of it is The Blessing in the Chaos. I would love you all to just sit back and listen to these beautiful words as we empty ourselves from the chatter that the morning for me has already presented itself with a very busy few hours since I've been up. So to truly be present in this space together, listen, blessing in chaos. To all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence. Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you, that have made their home in you, that go with you even to the holy places, but will not let you rest, will not let you hear your life with wholeness or feel the grace that fashions you. Let what distracts you cease. Let what divides you cease. Let there come an end to what diminishes and demeans, and let depart all that keeps you in its cage. Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible and see what shimmers within the storm. And so with that, with those magic words of just letting go of the chatter and the chaos that swirls in all of us at times, I turn it back to Carol in this wonderful program that's ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lynn. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. All right, Kirstie. Now, I've give you a little background on Kirstie Pomaranski. I met Kirstie Pomaranski through Life with Cancer, which is an Innova's offering for the survivors of cancer. And I do Healing Touch there. So I've met Kirstie through there, but she has quite a background. She is the program manager at Life with Cancer Family Center at Inova Dwight Martha at the Family Cancer Center and at the Inova Dwight and Martha Shar Cancer Institute for the Inova Health Systems in Northern Virginia. She oversees multiple opportunities for the Inova cancer patient: oncology exercise, heal well massage therapy, energy therapy, acupuncture sessions, provides private consultations, and teaches drumming classes. She is a member of and certified by the American Council of Exercise, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, Cancer Exercise Training Institute. So she comes well healed for this position with us. And what I want to say about Kirstie is that what really I think her special gift that she gives to these cancer survivors and to all of us is her dynamic personality. This dynamic, uplifting personality, and drumming suits her because I think it just goes along with her whole aura, who she is. So
kind. Thank you,
Kirstie. It's your show now. It's you give us your drumming evidence and based benefits of cardio drumming.
Awesome. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. I just want to say that I can already feel like the loving, caring energy of this group, and it's wonderful to be a part of it, So I, have been working in the fitness field probably for well over a decade now. And about 7 years ago, I faced my own cancer kind of experience. And luckily I was able to come through that, but I used exercise to really get me through some of the darkest times in my life. And I know the power of all of these healing modalities because I really worked to learn. One of the experiences of having, something like this occur in your life is it forces you to kind of reevaluate things, reevaluate your health, your balance, what you're doing, how you want to spend the time while you have here on this earth, and just really making it very mission driven. So I've kind of been lucky that I've just been kind of working at this career and exploring what brings me joy and passion, and just sharing it with others and hopefully inspiring them to do the same. So basically, I have worked with the preschool population, really all walks of life, age groups, and I have landed in this space that really taps into my compassionate side. And the thing that resonates with me is, this aging process. If we're all lucky to be here on this earth a long time, we face aging. And when we age, it's usually because we are not taking time to play and explore and keep things, keep learning new things and keeping things novel. So I just wanted to really share a quote, and what I'm doing here today is very play-based, okay? So even though there is a ton of science and reasoning behind it, ultimately at the end of the day, it's really fun, something that shouldn't be taken too seriously. And so how I lower inhibition within this class is sometimes we wear funny glasses, sometimes we wear tutus, and it's really about community acceptance, cultural appreciation, music appreciation, and it's pretty powerful stuff to see it in play. So I did present this little, I'm hoping you guys can see it. Okay, so you guys can see my slides. I can never really truly know what folks are seeing on the other end. It's a little terrifying at times. I think we've probably learned so much through the pandemic, from having classes that used to be in person to now being, able to join and connect in this way online. We've learned a lot of the wrong things to do and a lot of the right things to do. But one of the cool things that we've learned is that we can reach a broader audience. We can stay connected during times of, isolation. And really, it's the human connection that is really what makes us so special, right? So the work that I do at Life with Cancer is very evidence driven. And so whatever modality or, practice that we put out to our patients, we need to make sure that there is a strong body of evidence that supports the work that we do. And so that's why I decided to really get with this group called Drums Alive. And it is an evidence-based program that really focuses on dynamic aerobic dance patterns. It's a whole body approach to moving your body, strengthening your heart, strengthening your brain, improving motor reflexes and sensory awareness, where you are in space. And it's really important for maintaining a high quality of life throughout your lifespan, right? As much as possible. And so we really do try to meet folks where they are in their journey, because it really is so individualized. And so providing an evidence-based framework, allowing people the choice to come in and try some of these things is really what we're trying to do here. And so I hope that you guys are open to trying this. You don't necessarily have to have all of the fancy equipment that I'm showing you here. I have folks that join along. They use chopsticks, pencils. Really, it's quite amazing how much you can start to improvise and just explore things that you might have around your house, like a chair, using wooden spoons or plastic spoons even. So this program basically, it's meant to really incorporate a lot of different modalities. So it's music, sound, physical education and fitness, and rhythm. Like I said, I do this in the cancer lens, so it's going to look differently than maybe what would be deployed in an elementary school, or even like in a senior center, or even in a community center. It really does have to be customized to meet the individual where they are and provide choices and options. The beautiful thing about this class is the socialization aspect, greeting people, seeing them, letting them be heard, felt. Even a smile and a hug can go a very long way, as you know. I think you guys specialize in caregiving, and so you can appreciate the power of that, especially when you see it. I think this modality is really special because of the impacts that it has on the brain, and specifically why we apply it in this setting is some of the challenges that folks face in terms of what we call chemo brain. So it's just that general brain fog, feeling of being disconnected in their body. And so we're trying to give them a tool or a modality that they can kind of start to work on some skills that helps lessen that side effect. But we know that this can be applied in a couple of different ways for people who have had stroke, Parkinson's, ADHD, a lot of different, settings can help improve, just general fitness and cognitive functioning. So this is Carrie Eakins. She is now in her late 60s, early 70s, and she's been doing this for quite some time. She's started this program, and it's really worldwide. And she's partnered with a number of universities across the world, from Germany to Connecticut, Texas, Arkansas, Oxford. And so she has put in the work, and this started almost as a form of self-care for her, which I think you guys can identify. She experienced a life-changing injury. She was a very young woman, used to teaching high-intensity exercise, and when you have an injury that lands you in a hospital bed, she fractured her hip, and she went from, somebody who is actively moving their body regularly to not being able to move or even really get out of that setting. And so she was kind of losing it, to be honest. And so she started drumming on some boxes in her hospital bed, and she started to notice that she was feeling more improvements in her physical health and, most importantly, her mental health. And so when she was out of, that situation and starting to work on her recovery, she's like, I think I'm onto something. So really, that's kind of how it came to be. And I just think that that's a really powerful story, especially when I'm working with folks that are dealing with some really, life-changing circumstances. And I brought this class to a group of teens who had lost parents from a cancer diagnosis. And, this message of like hope and resiliency was really kind of like what I was focusing on when I was sharing this class with them, because I think, that's part of the human condition, right? So one of the cool things about this class is the fact that it does help promote brain health. And we know that we measure brain activity in terms of beta, alpha, theta, and delta waves, oscillations, right? And so one of the primary ways that this program helps to work in the beta and the alpha wave. So you're focusing on concentration, learning new skills, stretching the brain, almost like neuroplasticity. You're learning a new skill. It's connecting the right and left brain hemispheres, your brain hemispheres. There's one that's rooted in logic and one that's rooted in creativity. So anytime you can get those two to work in harmony, you're going to experience better brain benefits. So I just think that that's, really amazing. And, for Carol, you've done a lot of work in the energy therapy space. You know how important it is to really have some tools to be able to calm your own nervous system. And I just thought this was a really interesting statistic that 20% of the population, doesn't get into the alpha wave relaxation brain pattern. So, we have a lot of like highly charged people walking around, and we know that negatively impacts, not only our own health, but we can also negatively impact others. If we're coming into situations and we're agitated, we can easily impact others with that same energy. So it's just about giving people really more tools that they can take better care of themselves. I just wanted to share this tip. These are the tips and tricks that we know to how you keep your body and brain healthy and active, physical activity, especially, in the medical space. It's really something that should be protected. It is a form of medicine we're learning, especially in the field of oncology. We're learning it helps improve outcomes. People adhering to their treatments, it boosts their immune system so they're able to stay on course with their chemo, their radiation without interruption. And if that's the case, usually they're having a better chance at survival and then moving into a space where they're, getting into that thrivership. Staying mentally involved, learning new things, keeping it novel, new and exciting is good for our brain. Polyrhythmic skills, so this is definitely something that addresses that. We integrate senses, touch, smell, sound. Aerobics, these are really important. Moving our eyes in the hands of a clock, it's deeply connected to our sleep, and our sleep is deeply connected to our brain health. When we're deep sleeping, we're deplacking the brain, and we know that that helps with, Alzheimer's and dementia prevention. And so these are things that as we start to live in a more modern society, a modern technology, we're reading phones, computers, and we're not outside as much, having to hunt, gather, look for food, look up, our eyes need to track like the hands of the clock. You might have heard pelvic clocks. Well, think about performing eye clocks throughout the day. That can really help brain functioning. Positive self-talk, what we tell ourselves really does impact, our emotions. Our emotions really impact, feelings, and feelings impact, our overall body health and sets off a cascade of things that can negatively impact our body. Balance and auditory stimulation, that's something that is, definitely promoted in this class. Stress reduction, we know that having exercise, physical activity is one of the primary things that you can do to control your stress levels. Also, what you eat is really important too. So eating brain healthy foods, eating the rainbow, variety of nuts, seeds, healthy fishes, things of that nature. Healthy body weight is really important, and that's all tied in with how we move, think, feel, eat, and sleep. So, as you all know. All right, so talking about heart health, I just think that this is really interesting to share that we're learning so much more about how exercise plays a role in reducing, early risk of death by just 3 to 4 minutes a day. If you're doing more of a vigorous exercise, you're reducing your risk of death by 50%, which is pretty incredible. That's not a lot of time, and it just can be, something that you start to adopt into your life and make extra time for. In this class, it's not uncommon that we're getting about 5,000 steps in a class. This class typically lasts for about 45 minutes. And, you can have a heart rate between, 110, 150. I don't usually get people that high, so I provide solutions modifications. And anytime that you're increasing your heart rate, you're going to increase blood flow and circulation throughout the body. You're releasing endorphins, and that's definitely mood boosting. So what is very interesting is that we are starting to understand, how the muscle system not only just provides structural support, it's now being understood that it's part of our endocrine system. And I've linked some articles. I can share my slides with you guys later. It just helps to communicate within the body between organs like our liver, our pancreas, our bone, our brain, even fat tissue. And mitokines are hope molecules, which have been found to help reduce anxiety and depression. And it's been proven to be 1.5 times more effective than antidepressant drugs. It's not to say that those drugs aren't needed, but think about what would happen if you are regularly exercising. And in this space particularly, people need a lot of hope and something to positively to do, you know, and so that can look like a lot of things to a lot of different people depending on where they are in their journey. And hopefully it's something that, you know, you cultivate a relationship with yourself, and that it's something that brings you joy and positivity. So immune function, going back to exercise and depression and how it impacts immunity. Exercise appears to act as a buffer for many stress-related illnesses. Drumming provides a positive association with immune function and natural killer cells, what destroy viruses and even cancer in the body. It's not to say that this is going to cure cancer, but I definitely think the benefits of doing this are going to outweigh any risks and are going to help you, you know, live a high quality of life and help your care team do what they need to do. So going back to this is one of my favorite slides, because in working with the preschool population, you know that feeling when they're experiencing something new. Like we used to use parachutes and they would just get so excited and they would love going underneath. Well, we can kind of create that same feeling when we get ready to like hit on our drum. It's just that, ooh, I get to like move my body and I don't know what's coming next, or I think I know what's coming next. It's that same anticipatory joy that, you know, as we age, we tend to kind of lose that excitement. And so having something like this can really help just raise our energy. We have acupressure points in our hands, and using the sticks does help to stimulate the palms of our hands. We know that music helps to influence cells because of that vibration. Our cells, you know, can respond accordingly. And when you have energy flow and high vibrations, you're living a better quality of life. And then we know that music can really evoke a lot of emotion. It can take you back in time to a place, you know, that you might have been that really is positive. It could also have some negative connotations, but hopefully we're using songs that are joyful and that people can really identify with and recognize. I think one of the biggest takeaways is, you know, using this modality or something that speaks to you as a positive coping mechanism. You know, the world is not going to get easier. We have more challenges than ever that we're facing. And so, you know, really recognizing, you know, I've got to take advantage of certain things in my life, or tools or things that I'm learning to take care of myself first, so that I can provide care to others. And, you know, we're only as good as our own selves, right? So putting on our own oxygen mask first so that we can positively impact the health of others, I think is really important. And you probably all have experienced that firsthand. All right, so who's ready for a practice or a demonstration? I hope you guys are open to, I've prepared like 3 or 4 songs, and you know, really they're joyful. They're going to be easy to follow along to. And the first song that I've selected today is by Tina Turner. It's Proud Mary. So if you guys would like to stand up, if you have any, you know, objects, spoons, things like that, I would get those out. If you want to perform it seated, you certainly can. Just focus on the arm movements. I like to do things standing. When we're in a standing position, you're promoting good postural alignment and you're avoiding compression of the spine. You know, that's something that we need to take into consideration when we move. We want to try to do it in an upright, good alignment as much as possible. So the first song that I have prepared for you today, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. This is the fun part, right? Where we get to move, is going to look like this. So it's going to be nice and slow. We're just going to start off tapping the top of our drum. If you don't have a drum, just imagine that you have something you can tap, a pillow, something of that nature, okay? So we're just going to start off just tapping the top of the drum. When you hear Tina say big wheel, we're going to circle that arm around, strike the top of the ball or your imaginary ball 4 times on the right side. Might look like the left on your side. Then we're going to circle our arm around 4 times on the left. We're going to do a move that's a rock step. Swoop those arms around like this and hit the top of the ball, okay? As we start to get going, you can stand, do a side step. I want you to put your own zhuzh on it, okay? It's your body, your workout, you know your abilities, and this is learning something new, so it might take a little practice, okay? So I will cue you up. When we get big wheel, we circle our arms 4 times. We rock step, double pound when she says rollin', okay? Then we're gonna go from slow to fast. We're gonna do something called a rumble. Notice I'm hinging forward in my hip. I have a bend in my knee. I'm just tapping the top of my ball in a little rumbling action. We're gonna go front and back. We're gonna step side to side. We're gonna go really fast. We're gonna repeat everything that we just learned in double time. So we'll shorten our circle so that we can keep up. And we'll do 4 to the other side. And then we're gonna rock step, double pound, rock step, double pound, and try your best to follow along. All right, I'm gonna step off really quickly to start my song, my music. We'll get the beat. You can hear the music okay? Thumbs up, everybody. All right. You might need to adjust your sound accordingly. I'm just starting off. Nice upright position, tapping the top of the ball.
There's just one thing. You see, we never, ever do nothing.
Having a hard time hearing the music.
Oh, is that right? Okay, let me see if I can turn it up for you.
It's rough.
Oh, here we go.
But we're going to take the beginning of this song and do it easy. But then we're going to do the finish.
How's that? Better?
Rough. It's the way we do.
Is that any better? Better? Okay.
It's a little better.
Little better?
Every now and then, I think you might like to hear something from us.
Can you adjust it on your side?
There's
I
just one
think
thing.
it just may not be by the mic, so we're only hearing it
Yeah.
like in the background.
So you're
We-
not.
We
We can
hear
hear
you.
you well, but we
Yeah.
can't hear the music.
Oh, okay.
It's rough.
Huh. Okay. Hang on one
Do
second.
you have like a microphone on?
I do, and I have a mixing. Oh no! So you're telling me you can't hear the music at all?
Yeah, it may be because if you have a headset or something, it's only, or the mic is only, not sure.
Oh no. Okay. Let's see. These are the things, you guys, we learn every day. We think we have something fixed, we're working, and then the Zoom gremlins come. Okay. All right, let's see.
You know,
Any better?
every now and then, I think you might like to hear something from us.
Any better?
Easy.
Oh no.
No.
You see, we
But it's good anticipation building.
Yeah, really.
nice.
Oh no, this is so sad. Okay.
We always do.
I wonder if because of technical difficulties, we should just simply engage in conversation now,
Okay.
because your presentation was so beautiful. I think let's let this pass. Zoom is an amazing platform, but it has its little issues.
Yeah.
Why do we
And
need the music, Kirstie? Why don't you just walk us through the movement with rhythm?
All right.
lovely,
We can do that. So basically,
lovely.
we use music as supporting mechanism for cueing, for how we program the songs. But technically, if we were using this Tina Turner song, I like to start off by just getting people used to this movement, this natural rhythmic movement. So we'll just start off moving your feet, just tapping your imaginary ball if you have one at home. So we'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle the arm forward, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I like to warm up my folks. 4, 3, 2, 1. We will rock, step, swoop those arms forward. Tap the ball 2 times. Rock, step, tap, tap. Rock, step, rock, step, rock, step. Great job. All right. So one of the things I like to do is cross body movement. So we cross that midline. You can shift your arms right and left. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the right arm. 2, 3, 4. Go left over right. 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do a move called a chasse. A chasse is just tapping the side of the ball, and we are going to side step around the ball. You can do this from side to side. We work on lateral movements here. So this helps with balance and fall prevention. We also do movements where we stomp. So you can stomp in place, hitting the top of the ball and just getting that aggression out. It's great for just letting that frustration go. So let's go back to our cross body movement. We'll go 4, 3, 2, 1. We drop the right arm. 4, 3, 2, 1. Left over right. 3, 2, 1. We'll take the arms up overhead. So we're doing a modified jumping jack. See how easy it is to get those arms and limbs going, and doing it in really joyful, playful ways. So we can do a movement called a hip hinge, where we reach around the ball. And then we do a little bit of a knee bend, which is a squat. Leg strength is really important for brain health. There's a strong correlation there. So it's a way of tricking yourself into doing some squats. Nice and slow. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Back to cross body movements. How are you feeling? Are you notice your breath starting to quicken a little bit? Yeah, so let's drop right arm over left and left over right. Let's chasse. Side step. We tap the ball. There's also a move that I like to do for bone density. We can elevate our heart rate by doing a movement called a chug. A chug is where you do a little hop, okay? Little hop, soft landing. If the hopping isn't right for you, just tap the toe out in front. So you get the arms overhead in a little jumping jack action. All right, let's go back to some knee bends. Let's do 4. 4, 3, 2, and 1. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time. 3, 2, and 1. Little rumble. And then I click my sticks. So basically, you've done probably about a couple minutes of movements, and it didn't feel like too taxing, right? It's a really great way to exercise without having to feel like you're exercising. It's a great way to be really concentrated and focused in the very moment, working on those important brain waves for energy and concentration. So I apologize, my music isn't playing. I don't know exactly what happened, because normally we have this high-powered system that we got that mixes the sound and the microphone, but you can hear my microphone but not sound, huh? What a bummer. I'll
It
have
was
to
still
send you
great.
guys some recordings.
Oh, that would be really neat, Kirstie.
I could do that.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed that. I've got 2 plastic knives that I was working on here, and and Patty's got a couple of water bottles. So I think we all had some fun drumming on our own things that we have. So.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about this is, we do offer online courses. They are free for really anybody in the cancer space. But there's a lot of online content. If you search up cardio drumming or drums alive, there's a lot of recorded things that you can find available. There's nothing like doing it with a community of interested folks that, I see a lot of fun classes that are happening, and it's just really wonderful to be a part of a community that sees the importance of this and has this as another tool technique to kind of keep people interested. This is for life, so we do have to keep finding those things that, create that novelty and keep us engaged. And so it is something that takes energy and focus and some intention as well.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or anything for Kirstie? I saw one in the chat that Debbie asked about online courses, so I think you just did answer that. That was
How do we connect with that?
So if you visit lifewithcancer.org, you will see that we've started, and I will say we're a small nonprofit. I'm a team of 1. We do have about 45 videos that we've kind of created with our various instructors, anywhere from like yoga. If you visit lifewithcancer.org, you can see under resources, videos, there's a lot of things that we have, from like meditations to fitness classes. I have some of my cardio drumming content up there, so feel free to check that out. See, we have some full length classes, and I'm always open to letting people know about this modality and directing people to those classes.
Kirstie, I have one question for you. I just wonder what ideas or, life events brought about your interest in drumming. How did you happen to focus into the drumming?
Well, I think I've always wanted to be a secret rock star. I've always had an interest in drumming, and unfortunately, I played saxophone, and I wasn't, something that I don't think it was really, an option that was encouraged, but I've always had a natural interest in it. And so when this, this modality came up, I was like, this is really fun. And what I noticed when I first started learning to do it is I was really tired. I knew that I needed to do this for my brain, and it took a lot of practice. I've been teaching this for 4 years, and it takes planning, it takes preparation. And it's not easy, but it is fun and joyful. And it's something that I know has gotten easier because of the connections that I'm making, the repetition, the practice. Your mind is like a muscle, and it does get easier with some practice. So, and the good news is, I mess up all the time. There's nothing that you can really do wrong. I mean, it's not like I am performing in a rock band and have to keep everybody on time, which feels like a lot less pressure to me. Honestly, I think it would be really tough to be a drummer in a band. So this is my pretend band.
Okay.
I see in the chat that someone's asked, what are other songs that you like to use?
So I love, so that is really a good question. There are some rhythmically based songs that are easier to teach to. I find that Meghan Trainor has that formula where, you know, you have like a 32 count and then you have a chorus. And usually the rule of thumb when you're drumming is, you know, you start off with like an 8 count of something. You reduce it down to 4, you can reduce it down to 2, and then you would do a single. So that's a cognitive brain pattern. You're having to count, you're having to do math in your head while you're moving, while you're balancing, you know, while you're shifting left and right. So Meghan Trainor is a good one. She kind of has that same formula. I use Waka Waka with Shakira. That's a really fun one. We do a move called a rainbow, and that's my favorite. We just click the sticks and make a rainbow overhead. It has a really nice chorus and an easy to follow formula. I love Shania Twain, anything Shania Twain. She has great songs that kind of can be repeated in that same fashion. So there's a song called Giddy Up that's a lot of fun, and we pretend like we're, you know, riding a horse. We giddy up, we lasso the rope, we start with a 4 count, 4, 4, 4, and then we do 2, 2, 2, and 2. So it kind of has to have a formula, and it takes a lot of practice. I love really anything like modern poppy classics, disco, anything that you, I think, really enjoy. Any kind of music, you can turn it into something fun.
Kirstie, I had a question about that, the eyes, the eye clock. That it's, yeah, the eye clock.
Oh, the eye clock?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is something that I've been reading about, just how important the eye movements. It's not only important for our vision, but there are eye movements that are connected to the quality of our sleep. And so if you imagine you're looking at the hands of a clock, just like you would do pelvic clocks for back pain, or stomach clocks where you're engaging your core, you would draw the hands of the clock. So you would go 12, 6, 1 and 5, or 1 and 7, 2 and 8, 3 and 9, 4 and, I'm cheating by the way, 4 and 10, 5 and 11, 6 and 12. So you'd want to go, you know, just trace the hands of the clock, looking up, down, diagonal, and then repeat it in the other way, other direction, keeping the eye muscles strong.
I've never heard of the pelvic clock or doing that, you know, for the stomach.
So pelvic clock is a way to relieve lower back pain. Our pelvis can become, you know, unbalanced. And it's a way to kind of strengthen your deep core stabilizing muscles. And you would do the same thing lying on your back. You could do the hands of a clock with your pelvis, just doing these little hip rotations. And you can also do this with bracing your abdominals. So you would think about drawing and meeting the center. Your navel is the center of your clock. So you're tracing 12 and 6, 1 and 7, and then, you know, you're pulling up so everything's kind of braced and engaged. And this is helpful for posture and alignment. So some things to try.
New ideas.
New ideas, yeah.
And do you really have to get your heartbeat up to 110, 150 to have that high percentage of, you know, vigorous exercise helping you?
Well, okay, so it really is dependent on a couple of variables, but we could do rate of perceived exertion, which is just the general feeling of like how hard you're working on a scale of 1 to 10. Usually we don't want to get up into the 10 category because, you know, that's just too vigorous, but using your heart rate calculation, 220 minus your age, moderate heart rate zone is taking that number and multiplying it by 0.5 to 0.7. And vigorous is 0.7 to 0.8. And so we do want to get into that, you know, mix of Moderate feels like you're starting to break a sweat after about 10 minutes. So a couple of songs, you should be starting to feel warmer. You should be able to have a conversation, but not necessarily sing the words to a song without having to catch your breath. Vigorous is like you're definitely breaking a sweat after about 1 to 2 minutes. Your breath starts to quicken and you're not able to like say everything without, panting. So we want to mix.
Okay.
You don't need as much vigor, but I'd say the general recommendations is about 30 minutes of moderate aerobic-based activity, 5 to 7 days a week, walking, biking on a flat surface, housekeeping, gardening. Vigorous is more like, you're going up a flight of stairs, biking up a hill, doing some chugs, these types of things, like fast drumming, or power mopping your floors at home.
Forget
Power
that one.
vacuuming, right? Vacuum those
Kirstie,
floors.
You've gotten so many accolades here. Thank you so much for refreshing work from
I'm
Dr.
so
Lynn.
sorry. I definitely will
Awesome.
send out some recordings and I'll be happy to share my slides. I'm so bummed about our high-powered system. I'm gonna have to call those guys back out here and they're gonna be like so sick of me by the end of this. Hey, I can't get my music to mix right. But everybody's been quiet in class, so I hope it's been working because they haven't been telling me they haven't heard it. So I don't know what about today set it off. But these are the things that, keep me on my toes for sure.
Yeah.
Kirstie,
So
I
informative.
wanted to thank you so much for, I've never done drumming with movement.
Yes.
And this is a whole new door for me because I just want to very briefly share that I'm a 3-time survivor of breast cancer. And I did take a healing modality course and it was around art. But we did a lot of painting, but we also did drumming. And the drumming that I was introduced to was circle drumming, where we each had a drum. And we just started off with a pattern, but it was amazing to learn that people could, in the circle without announcement, could change the pattern. And the whole community of the drummers in the circle, sometimes there were 10 or 12 of us, would pick up the rhythm of the new rhythm of the person who had changed it. And it was an amazing experience. And it was so healing to do drumming in that community.
Absolutely.
Much different experience than doing it alone at home.
Yeah. There's something about, that shared space, that shared mutual understanding. It is very healing and therapeutic. That gives me goosebumps. Thank you for sharing it. I'm so glad you're doing well.
I'm doing great. And it was almost like walking a labyrinth, but I love the exercise part. So thank you for introducing a new method for me.
I think you'll start to see it being offered in more places and more community centers. They definitely, there's a need in schools. Just think about everybody can really benefit from this, and it can really be scaled and done in many different settings with many different musics and seated and standing. And Debbie, you had a question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to say I have done the cardio drumming with a group of local people that I joined a senior citizen exercise group, and this is what they were doing. It became so connecting and so wonderful. And they started asking us to do performances. So we started doing that, and it's been a ball. And I haven't been able to go for a while because of a new job, but I really, really want to get back to it. And this inspired me that I need to make some changes to take better care of myself and engage in these things that are helpful and connecting. And I had one question about equipment. Like, I'm a nurse and I work at the VA. And if I want to do this with the veterans, where do you store all the equipment? I mean, we have a problem with space as it is,
Well, that's a really good question. So these, there's a couple of different ways that you can mount these. We use these like blue buckets, and I think we've got them at, like the Dollar General, and we just stack them in the corner. So you can have like, up to 10 or 12 that don't take up them that much space. The challenge is like where you would store these exercise balls, but we have them kind of pushed against the wall. I wish I could turn my camera so that you could see. But we've built like a little plastic PVC stand so that we have maybe about 15 of them, and they just go right flat against the wall. And then these drumsticks, you can buy them in bulk for, $20 on Amazon, and they're easy to clean. We wipe them down, we wipe everything down and then just kind of shove it off to the side. And this is a really cool space that I'm in right now because it doubles as a pickleball court. If you see like the blue tape, we do pickleball. We do all these different things because there's not one size fits all approach to people. And
Right.
you just have to explore those things that are going to resonate with you.
Mm-hmm. And we've gotten the balls too at 5 and below.
Yes, they're so inexpensive these days. And if you just get, like one of those, I would say if you have a lot to blow up, getting an air compressor, because those like foot pumps, you'll be like,
Yeah.
that can be really challenging, and to get, get the firmness that you want. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you can be as creative as you want. You can drum on pillows. The nice thing about this is that it does make a sound. So it does help with the rhythm. And even if we have folks that are rhythmically challenged, it's still okay. It really is okay.
Okay, I think,
Thanks again.
yes, we've come to our noon time. We're even a little over, and Kirstie, you've gotten over and over again so many, wow, this was different. Wow, I'm going to use this. And, it was awesome. I thank you for your presentation today.
Well,
and
like I said, great to be with you all. You all are amazing in the work that you do, and hats off. It's not easy, but you guys are amazing, lovely, caring people. And good for you for being here, right? In this space together. This is so wonderful.
Yes. We have, we'll just come together as a closure. I have some reflection that will be given to us by Marilyn and Gracia. And she's a faithful fan of, Caritas Healing Connection. She's been with the group for several years now. And she's a retired elementary special education teacher for over 30 years. She served her children. And she's my sister. So when I heard that Lauren on Wednesday, which was kind of late, had a family death and couldn't close for us, I tortured my sister to do something for me. And bossy that I am, Marilyn said she would do it. And I present you with my sister Marilyn with some final reflections.
Hi, everyone. I've enjoyed this program very much, and I've enjoyed being with you. I want to thank Kirstie very much. I enjoyed the presentation. You gave so much information and insight into its caregiving qualities that I really never knew that much about. But, and for me, the whole gist of your program, for me, the best gift of the drum is that it brings us to our core quickly and in very pleasantly. And I enjoyed that very much. And the sound of our drum, it's like the sound of our heart. It's like the strong connection to our earth home, which just things that we hear outside all the time. I'm very much a nature lover, and I love to go down to the beach, just hear the waves crash and then return back to their deep where they came from. And I love to hear a bird call, because you can tell what bird is singing because his call is his voice. It really is who he is. These repetitive sounds that we hear in the earth as we just live and walk and breathe in our own life. And I noticed too that drums can both calm us and excite us. So it's got everything pretty much we need, I think, and bringing us some peace and excitement too, and brings us to a fuller presence of our being. So anyways, today I just picked a very short little poem. It's from a nun who has written a book, and I just love her because they're short, but they give a good message each time. And this little one is about peace. And that's what I think, even the drumming to me, it brings a peace to me. And that's why I picked it. So it is called Solar Graffiti. The morning sun peering through my window saw my peace lily, drew its leaves across the wall and moved on. An amateur with pen and ink, I fumbled trying to recall those perfect lines so quickly drawn and so quickly gone. If I could learn to see like sun, I too would move around the world, drawing peace on every wall till Earth was one. Thank you all, everyone. Have a peaceful day.
Marilyn, and thank you for doing that for the group. It's beautiful. And I thank all of you for attending and for sharing, and for each of the people that participated, Dr. Lynn, Marilyn, and especially Kirstie for her beautiful performance there. I thank you. Have a beautiful month, and we'll see you in a month. Bye-bye now.